Check it out, folks. Robotic lawnmowers just got even better and easier to use. These no longer use ground wires, and now they don't even need an RTK station. These things are just getting even better and even easier to install. Check this here thing out from Mammotion. This is their new, brand new Luba Mini LiDAR system. So the idea behind this new machine from Mammotion is to make using and setting up a robotic lawnmower even easier again, but to also eliminate any of the issues you have with loss of signal or the robot losing position, because it's now using a tri-fusion vision system, which is also including the LiDAR. So it doesn't matter about tall trees, big hedges, large buildings, or low satellite signals. This can actually work independent of it, so you don't even need an RTK station anymore to run this new machine. Now, as you can see, it's not just a brand new machine on the market. It's not a new launch. It is just a new vision system. This is the Luba Mini, just with a new guidance system. These two machines are still on the market. You can still buy the Luba Mini. This is just more suited to people that need something that's not going to be losing signal, more to do with your environment than your terrain. So if you're in somewhere with large buildings or big trees or anything that's given difficulty with signal, this here's the one you want to go for. And as you can see, this machine is not brand new. It's only just on the market, but I've actually been testing this out for Mammotion for around 3 months now. They sent this in along with the Yuka Mini machine to ask me if I could run it for them, just to help them work out any issues or bugs to make sure the thing is ready for the market before it was released. But it's released now, so I'm free to actually do a video on it. So this here is the new Luba Mini LiDAR system from Mammotion. Let's give a wee run through and see what she's like. So first off, I wanted to just show how quick and easy these are to actually set up, map out and get cutting. This is me taking them out to the park area at the front and actually creating a new lawn area on the park for each machine, and then getting both of them to start cutting. It takes no time at all to map out an area and get the mower actually working. As you can see here, it's even faster if you use the auto mapping on the machine, but obviously auto mapping wouldn't work in this environment because it would try to take in the entire area. So here I just done it manually, but it takes no time at all to set up. So the spec on this new LiDAR machine is the exact same as the Luba Mini. They are both the exact same machines. They are both able to cut up to 1500 square meters, and you can program in up to 20 different work zones. So you can have 20 different areas to cut in your garden. That's how many you can program into it. They are both a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive system, and they're able to handle up to nearly a 40-degree slope. So major advantage if your garden is in any way sloped at all, these things can still handle it no problem. The actual weight of this machine is around 16 kilos and the cutting deck is about 200mm wide, and then the adjustments on the cutting height, you can adjust it from 20mm up to 65mm in height. Now the battery size on both of these machines is the exact same. They're both a 6.1 amp hour lithium battery built in, which is also replaceable if you ever needed to change it. But the runtime is a little bit different, simply because the LiDAR is using up a little bit of extra power on the LiDAR machine. So it'll run for about 150 minutes in between charges, whereas the Luba Mini will actually run for about 165 minutes. But the trade-off in that is the charge time is a little bit faster on the Luba LiDAR. So it'll actually charge up in about 150 minutes, whereas the Luba Mini takes about 200 minutes to charge up in between mows. So that means on a full charge, depending on what way you have the mower set up to run, they'll be able to mow up to an area of about 350 meters between charges before having to go back to recharge. So this here is the only difference in the two machines. This here is their new LiDAR system. This is a solid state LiDAR. It still has the AI camera and your vision camera for looking at it on your app, but also has built-in solid state tower LiDAR. It's not the rotary LiDAR you get on the likes of a robotic vacuum cleaner. This is an actual solid turret LiDAR, so it's actually shining out 2000 points per second beams from here, and it's generating a 3D map of your space, so it knows exactly where it is and what's around it. A much more accurate system for guiding your robotic lawnmower, and without the need for a satellite signal as well. So the two machines themselves, like I say, are the same. You're not getting anything extra machine-wise going for the LiDAR system. They are identical. Exact same machines, exact four-wheel drive setup, front suspension, all-terrain drive with the 88-watt motor underneath, single disc with the 6 blades on it. Exact same as this one. There's no difference whatsoever. And as you can see, both of them are being used here. The only difference between these two machines is basically the runtime. Because this one's also using LiDAR as well, it uses that little bit extra power, so there'll be a few minutes less runtime compared to the Luba Mini. That's about it. It's the same motors, same battery, same system. This is just using a little bit of extra power to run this here LiDAR. Apart from that there, absolutely identical. Now, installation couldn't be easier. All you have in the box is the machine and a charging station and your power. No RTK station needed. You don't have to do extra installing for an extra power socket for putting an RTK station on. All you need is your charging station. And I didn't even have to take this out of the box because I already had the Luba Mini set up. And I just put it directly onto the same charging station because they are the exact same machine. So installation couldn't be easier. An outside socket to stick your charging station is all you need for this thing. Put in your charging station, put on your machine, it'll switch on. And when it's on then, everything else is just in your app. Switch it on and then hit map and it'll literally drive out, do a little circle to actually map out your garden with the LiDAR, and that's it. It'll actually go around and map out the garden completely on its own using the AI, or you can still do it manually with the app and actually drive the motor around all your boundaries to set out your actual areas. But installation and setup could not be easier with this thing. I mean, you couldn't actually make it any easier if you tried. It was literally doing everything for you. Now, to show how easy the setup is, I'm just going to delete all the maps again and just map it on one more time because it couldn't be easier to do. I've actually done it several times for Mammotion already for testing the thing out, and you couldn't get easier. I can literally do it from my kitchen window, don't even have to go outside. So I'm just going to delete all the maps here. Then I'm just going to reinstall the whole thing again. Now, installation is as easy as plugging in the charging station. Plug in your charging station, the power supply, and literally just drop in your robot. Once it's on the charging prongs, it'll actually power up itself. Power's on, and then you're basically ready to go. There's just a wee hood cover as well, supplied by Mammotion, keeping it dry. The only other thing you have to do then is actually download the app and set up your Wi-Fi. That's it. And then that there's what you're left with. I'll just go through the actual setup now. Create map. This just gives you a few options of how to actually set the whole thing up. Then hit start, then the robot will automatically undock and start scanning your area. So it just does a little twirl and actually use the LiDAR to actually map out the area first to make sure there's nothing on the way and then see where to actually go. And there's done a sweet twirl, I can just hit start mapping. As well, this is up on a piece of concrete and a wee couple of inch curb it has to jump off. But even though four-wheel drive can handle it no problem. So you can do automatic mapping or manual. Because I'm off the actual cutting area, I'm just going to do it manual to start with. I'm only doing the manual here because it's on the concrete, not the lawn. So I can just drive it forward then. So once it's actually set up on the area you want to cut, you can continue on manually drive it around, or you can just toggle between manual and automatic. You can just switch it over to automatic and it'll actually just go around itself. It finds the boundary all by itself, but anywhere, see the likes of here, where it has this little shrub sticking out past the boundary, it will just go around. And anything you want like that, you want it to ignore, you can just do manually afterwards. But this is it, actually going around completely independently. Nothing driven this thing at all. and it's very accurate and actually picking up the edges. It's crazy how this can actually drive around all on its own without any help. Now, after it's done then, all you have to do is connect up a channel between your lawn and the charging station, and it's ready to just cut away and go back and charge anytime it needs to. And the same crack, just hit create, channel, got it.
Start mapping a channel.
And just drive it to where you actually want the path to be. So I'm just going to have it drive up this here curb, it's about 2 inches. No problem for this thing with a 4-wheel drive. So that's it. That's it on the charging station, ready to go. The first area is created. It knows where its charging station is, and it has a path to it. That's it initially set up. After that, it's just repeat. If you've got more lawns and more areas to plot in, you just make each area on its own and then connect them up with channels in between so the mower can get around. And if there's anything inside your area you don't want it to go, where it likes a flower bed or a pond or around a tree, you can just guide the mower around that there and designate it a no-go zone so the mower doesn't go near that area. It's very, very simple. And once it's actually set up, it's as easy as start. Just mow and start. You set this on a schedule then, every 1 day or 2 days. Maybe you want it to do different lawns on different days. You can have a different schedule for each lawn, and it comes out on that schedule to actually cut. Nothing else needed to do, or you can just send it out manually yourself. But the schedules are very good because you can actually adjust the settings for each lawn as well. So maybe front lawn, you want it down to 20 mil, cut in a zigzag pattern at different gappings, different spacings. You can set that up. If you have a back lawn that needs to be longer, you can put it up to 65 mil and have it cut independently, different on different days or the same day, whatever you want. Each lawn can be set, programmed differently. Maybe you just got a wee small front lawn and you want to put a checkerboard pattern onto it, have it go back and forth, have it more ornamental. You can do the same thing again. Each one can be different and they can all be connected up then with paths. So the whole point of this new tri-fusion system is less to do with tackling terrain and more to do with tackling the environment, the signal. They've got the terrain down to a T. Mammotion have different mowers now for all different environments, and we've tested them all. The Luba 2, the Yucca with the sweeper kit, the new Mini series from this year, the Luba Mini and the Yucca Mini, they can all tackle different terrain. Perfect for that there. Mammotion have that down to a T. Now they're trying to tackle the actual the environment itself, your signal, to make sure you do not lose signal and the mower can perform its best in your environment on the terrain that it's on. And that's what this new system's for. This is to give you more flexibility to do anything. You can use the tri-fusion all together, all 3 systems, or you can also use them independently. Makes it very, very flexible for the home user. So you can use the vision and the RTK on its own, or you can use the LiDAR and the vision on its own. So you don't even need the RTK station at all anymore. Or you can use all 3 to get a very accurate robotic lawnmower. All 3 together and the tri-fusion system is going to give you an accuracy of about 10 centimeters or so. And then independently on the dual system, you're looking roughly at about 5 centimeters or something like that there. So the more accurate you want, the more of the systems you want. You want the tri-fusion system. But if you don't need all that, you can just use the 2 independently and do away with the RTK station altogether, which is what I really like about this here machine. It's extremely flexible and leaves you with loads of options for different environments and terrain that you can perform. Plus, if you don't want the RTK station, it's just an extra thing you don't have to install. And if you don't want the NetRTK having a yearly subscription for the SIM card, you can do away with it as well. But to be honest, I would recommend the tri-fusion system and just get the month or the yearly subscription to the SIM. I think it's only like 50 or 60 euro or something like that there for the whole year. It's not all that expensive. And for the rest of 2025, it's free anyway. So I would recommend the tri-fusion system because it's giving you your more accuracy and more options available to you. Plus, with the sim, you can use it more remotely as well. Without the sim, just relying on without the RTK station, you can't really use your mobile phone from a distance as well. So if you're away at work or something, you want to send it out or control it or use the camera, it's not as reliable. But with the SIM card built in, doesn't matter where you are, you can use the lawnmower independently on its own, and you're not relying on a Wi-Fi signal. So it's a much better setup in that regard. I would recommend the Tri-Fusion over the dual system. But overall, the actual performance of the machine is absolutely excellent. Just like the Luba Mini, it's able to handle so much. With the four-wheel drive, it's able to handle just about any sort of size slope, any terrain. It's amazing the capabilities of these machines. The Luba Mini and the Luba 2, they can just basically go anywhere. I mean, just look at what it's cutting here. The power on the 88 watt actual blade motor is phenomenal. I mean, this here must be easily 10 inches long, thick, weed covered grass, and it's slicing through it no problem. And it's cutting down to what, 30 mil height. I mean, you couldn't beat it. And it's cutting everything. That's all thing about it is the app control. There's loads of different settings on it. One of the things you can do is reduce the motor speed. So it's running now on fast, but also the blade speed is on high because it's trying to cut through all this. If you don't have long grass to cut, you're just maintaining, you can just drop the motor speed down to low. So that means you can actually save on your battery life as well. So if you're doing a big area, you don't have to have it using up the battery by running the motor speed so fast. You can drop it down so you can actually do a longer cut in one go and between charges. There's loads of extra little features you can do on the app itself, plus changing the direction of the cut. You can change the angle, or you can put a checkerboard sort of pattern on so it goes back and forth two ways and leaves a nicer lawn again, and actually change the actual angle of that again so it looks like a herringbone finish or something like that there. It leaves your lawn looking pristine basically. As you can see, it's coming over here now, and it's sort of just going around because I can see me now sitting here, and the LiDAR is actually picking me up as well. The only thing about the LiDAR is if you are sitting here short term and it sees you, it's programmed you in on this here cut. But if I were to get up now, it would still go around this area where I was standing. It'll still remember. But the next time it comes out, it won't do the same thing. It'll take out a new LiDAR map of the area. I mean, the power of it is just unreal. You don't think a robotic lawnmower should be able to cut stuff like this here. But these Mammotion ones don't seem to have a problem with it. Even the little Luba Mini was able to handle out here. Now, I'll get her up here and have a quick wee look through, because we already did look through the Luba Mini before and the Luba 2. But we'll have a quick wee look through this one as well. And the first thing, the build quality in these things is unreal. They're such a solid machine. This thing weighs about 16 kilos. It's not going to break your back, but it's not a light duty machine either. And the actual build is so solid. It's not like other robotic lawnmowers with a big loose cover on the front. It is really solid made. 4 big brushless heavy duty motors. Each wheel has a brushless motor, so it's complete 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive mowers. Just like the other Lubas, they have the front runners at the front, so these things can actually turn independently, so they can run forward and back. But when they turn on the spot, these rollers allow it to just turn on its side without tearing up the grass. That there's a massive selling point for these things alone. But the actual wheels themselves are actually very solid and very well made. They've got a big hubcap on the side, so if you do scrape against the curb, she's not damaging the tyre. It's just scrapes this little hub. And the actual build quality of them, it's not just one nut holding them on. There's 6 stainless steel socket head bolts bolting it all on. It's very, very well made. Even just the back wheels, look how wide they are. And they're an actual solid rubber wheel. They're not just hard plastic, but really well made. And the whole side of the machine is completely flat, so it can run perfectly along the edge of a curb to get it on as close as possible. The blades won't cut on the whole weight of the curb. It'll leave a few centimetre gap, but they get on as much as possible with this here flat edge. Now at the front, they've done away with the little ultrasonic sensors that was on the original Luba. They're gone completely, but it still does have the actual touch sensor or the touch bumper at the front. So if it knocks into anything, this here activates a switch and tells them where to stop, back off, and basically go around. It's a little added extra piece of protection, just in case something like a pet or something runs across, the mower doesn't see it in time, it just bumps onto this here and stops basically. As well, the two front wheels have got independent suspension. This isn't for bouncing around, but more to keep the mower on the ground at all times. So no matter how much it flexes, these tyres are still going to be getting good traction, no matter what sort of environment or slope or angle it's going down. And it's not just a little shock, it is an actual spring-loaded suspension. And rubber gaskets in here to keep in here sealed. Big spring onto these here dampers, and actual wee pivot joints down inside of here. It's such a well-built system. Now the vision system, this is the only thing that's different between this and the Luba Mini. The Luba Mini one though does have a nicer looking vision system. It's a little bit more sleek. This one isn't as nice looking, but at least it is designed more around function than form. They haven't just made it look pretty, they designed it for the purpose of it, and it is really well made. It's as solid for build quality, and there's loads of fins in it as well, because there'll be lots of stuff going on inside of here that'll generate heat. There's loads of heat dissipation fins built in to keep it all nice and cool. They've built that really well and really solid. And the only thing to actually do when you buy the mower and to install it is just put this on top. There's 3 connectors you have to put on to put this into the mower. And no, you can't just buy this and put it onto your Luba Mini. It's different connectors inside. I don't think you can modify by just buying one of these and putting it onto the machine. It has a different board inside as well. Now on the top, it still has the same setup as the other mowers. Nice big stop button for stopping the machine, and a little keyway as well for disabling it. And then 4 buttons on top, 2 command buttons and 2 function buttons. So you got start and power, home and grass. These are just for clearing codes. Even has a little label on top to tell you how to use them. So if it stops or you lift it or something, you have to get it going again, it's start and grass, or else start and home, then just power button then for turning it on and off. Nice wee setup here, and then the same little rain sensor on the top as well. As soon as this here gets wet, the mower knows it's raining and just goes back to the home station. On the back, you've got these 2 little charging points here. This is where the charging station goes onto to make contact to charge up the battery in the mower. Below that, you've got this little window. That's actually a little sensor that lines up with one on the charging station. Makes it very easy for the mower to actually locate itself on the station to recharge. Doesn't matter if the station moves here or there, a few inches or a few feet. Whenever that backs up into the perimeter of the box where the charging station is going to be, this vision actually lines up and it just backs it anyway. Doesn't have to be so precise where if the charging station moves, the mower can no longer find it. It actually senses it with this here. And then below that again is what makes these here so good and why I recommend them and like them so much. Because these come with a 3-year warranty, so you don't have to worry too much about this. But even outside of the warranty, if anything ever goes wrong with the battery pack, it's as simple as that to replace it. It's just basically a power tool battery. A 25.2 volt battery, 6.1 amp hour. One solid unit, very easy to pull out and replace if you ever need to. That there is a massive selling point for me. A very good system and a very good setup. Slides in, good big contact points down in there. Rubber gasket all the way around to keep it nice and sealed. And then it's not even just plastic screws going onto the body. They're actually inserted metal threads into the plastic body. So it's actually machine thread screws holding this on. Very good system and a very good setup to keep this running well into the future, even outside of the warranty after 3 years. 4 screws, takes that on and off. On the underside, this is what's doing all the work. Main event, you have an 88 watt motor driving this here disc doing all the cutting. So you've got an 8-inch disc, 200mm wide cutting disc. That's the size the cut is making. Obviously the Luba is going to have 2 of these, but the Luba Mini just has the single one. This is a plastic disc mounted onto the motor and a big rubber boot sealing the whole thing up then, so no debris, grass clippings or water can get up into the motor unit, and still allow the actual blades to move up and down to set the different cutting heights. If this ever gets damaged, the disc, if you hit concrete or a big stone or something and crack this, you can easily replace it. It's available on Mammotion's website. 3 wee screws replaces this. When the blades go blunt, you can either just unscrew them and replace them, or you can actually just flip them around as well, because there's actually two edges to these and a top and a bottom. So you can flip over the screw to move it out, or flip it over as well, just to keep a good sharp cut and edge. Or if they're completely blunt and worn out, as I sometimes do, it's just resharpen them on a diamond stone. If they're not actually damaged and just blunt, you can easily just sharpen these things up again. Or if you want to do the easy way, just replace them, get a new packet of them and screw them on. Very easy to do. Around the disc as well, all nice and free. No obstacles or things for the grass clippings to build up on, especially if it's cutting on the wet. All nice and open, so any grass clippings just falls away and nothing really builds up on it, as you can see. But anyway folks, that's her, the all new Luba Mini LiDAR from Mammotion. And let's face it, she is an absolutely cracking machine. Looks the job. This thing gets attention everywhere it goes. Fantastic looking machine, but the performance of them as well is just brilliant. You really couldn't beat this thing. The Mammotion range, they have something to suit everybody. So if you're looking for a robotic mower, check out Mammotion folks. They've one to suit everybody. Even if you've been told before you can't have a robotic lawnmower because your terrain, your environment doesn't suit it, doesn't matter anymore. The new Mammotion LiDAR system is just going to work everywhere, no matter what the conditions, no matter how big a building's beside you or how much signal you have. This thing is going to work independently off the satellite signals. Fantastic machine that can just go anywhere and do anything now. Well worth a look if you're looking for a robotic lawnmower. And let's face it, it looks the part too. These things just look brilliant. And the finish on them too, the one I left down at my in-laws house, the Luba Mini, just gets attention all the time. The front lawn, the big lovely straight lines all the way up and down, just looks brilliant, and they get questions about it all the time. Brilliant machines, brilliant performance, and brilliant lawns they give you. Anyway folks, just want to give a big thank you to Mammotion for sending this and for the video, but also for considering me to send this out to me to test out for them. It's a privilege to actually test this for 3 months. Even straight out of the box, testing a prototype mower, give absolutely no issues. This worked flawlessly since I took it out of the box. The only thing I had to do for it was a few times delete the maps and delete the app just to reinstall again, and only because Mammotion asked me for a few updates that they were doing, and that was it. It was nothing to do with the app or the machine. They just asked me to delete and redo again to test out a few things. But apart from that, no issue with this thing whatsoever. Fantastic machine, fantastic company. If you're looking for a robotic lawnmower folks, look no further.